Browns getting ready to face the Pittsburgh Steelers in primetime Sunday Night Football, the marquee game of the first weekend of the NFL playoffs. Al Michaels, Cris Collinsworth, Tony Dungy, some of the best in the business, getting ready, doing the prep. We had a chance to talk to Cris Collinsworth, the analyst for Sunday Night Football, about Joel Bitonio and the Browns and how much that line will miss him.
I think it impacts it a lot, in part because of who they've got behind it, between Nick Harris and Chris Hubbard and the guys that were supposed to take his place. And so, who fits into that guard position now? And especially when you're going against the likes of Tuitt and Hayward and Alualu, and you're a power running team anyway, and the pass protection being such a key component part of it. We talked about it a little bit on the broadcast the other night, but 5/11 of the football team are offensive linemen, and when the strength of your team, which I think the strength of the Cleveland Browns is their offensive line, when one of those key guys gets taken out of it, that can be a little bit of a tough go for a football team. But they've been through it before. Wyatt Teller didn't play the last time we called the game, so they survived that one pretty well, so I assume they'll survive here too.
Cris Collinsworth, analyst for Sunday Night Football, who will be calling the Browns-Steelers game, talking about Joel Bitonio. Let's welcome back in the D-Man. D-Man, we alluded to it. I think I think that's part of the recipe. You got to run the football, control the clock. How big of a challenge is that, given what the Browns are going to face? You still have Chubb and Hunt. That gets you. That counts for something.
It does, but even Chubb and Hunt or any great back is not going to be able to get what they need if they're, first two steps, all of a sudden they're looking at an opponent in their face. So you've got to be able to block, and it's going to be a tall order. I mean, think about this, Dave, when you talk about trying to replace a Joel Bitonio or, in the previous case, a Wyatt Teller. Remember the Jets game when Nick Harris was, replacing he was replacing Teller, or no, he replaced Hubbard, who would replace Teller. And Harris, I think, gave up a sack in that game, but he was viable. Well, the next game, not so much. All right, it looked to me like Nick Harris had a lot of issues. So it's very difficult to have substitutes, especially this late in the game, especially when they're filling in for guys the caliber of Joel Bitonio.
Well, and as you alluded to, and as Cris Collinsworth alluded to, now you're talking the fourth. Bitonio's out, Hubbard's out, Harris is out. I'm not great at math, but that's your fourth guard on the roster that you're going to stick out there and say, hey, go block some really good defensive linemen for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, and the more we talk about it, Dave, the more I see 27-10, 35-13, 42. I hope I'm wrong. I truly do, because I want to see the Browns beat the Steelers like no one else. I mean, I love the Browns deep down. I'm born and raised here. Browns diehard, all that deal. But my rational mind, what's left of it after 20 years of sleeping pills, my rational mind doesn't look, at this as a particularly favorable matchup, especially given that it's going to happen in Heinz Field, admittedly with, the home field advantage seemingly neutered to a great extent. But the good news about this, though, Dave, is all, and I mean all, of the pressure is on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're the ones who have to win this game for so many reasons, and including now the absence of the Browns head coach, various other personnel absences for the Browns. They're at home. They're the division winner. They have their full complement of offensive players, or so it would appear. They have their defense. They have T.J. Watt and all these other guys. So all the pressure is on the Steelers. If I'm the Browns, I go in there and I'm playing, mentally with house money, psychologically, and I'm just going to play free and loose and not be nervous at all.